People who think they're seriously sick from mold exposure in their home or office often complain that they aren't treated seriously by traditional doctors.
And that's why some turn to alternative medicine. But as Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis learned, alternative can sometimes also mean unproven.
That's right, Sanae and Russ. Gainesville-based Biotrek Laboratories sells mold tests over the phone to concerned people who find them on the internet. Well, some of those desperate and suffering patients may not like what they're about to see.
What I'm transporting, which is medical testing from my administrative house, so the company I'm working for doesn't get in trouble.
Last year, Biotrek employee Cole Chambers decided to record himself while on the job.
To prove a point, these are people's lives that we're messing with, and it's unacceptable.
We'll get back to that video shortly. Chambers says he took direction from Michael Pugliese of Gainesville, a self-proclaimed international expert on mold exposure, connected to companies like this one he advertised on YouTube, which is now closed.
Or pick up the phone and speak to an expert. The NMRC, the National Mold Resource Center, people helping people with their mold problems.
Patients around the country tell the Fox 5 I-Team they traveled here to the National Treatment Centers for Environmental Disease in Alpharetta, where Pugliese offers his advice. An office visit requires $3,300 up front. Special nasal spray and vitamins cost hundreds more. But the spending doesn't stop there.
We'd go through those symptoms and I would sell you a test.
Cal Hammond also worked at Biotrek, housed in the same Gainesville compound as the administrative offices for the National Treatment Centers. Michael Pugliese's girlfriend's son, David Meshward, is listed as Biotrek's CEO. The company sells urine testing kits to people worried about mold exposure. Cost $599. But twice the Centers for Disease Control has publicly criticized those tests, calling them inappropriate and unvalidated, and said they needlessly scared government workers in Chicago and Oklahoma into thinking they had deadly mold in their office space.
I believe we all felt that something was wrong, we just didn't understand what was wrong.
According to the FDA, those Biotrek urine tests for mold are not approved for use on humans. Why? Because most of us eat foods that already contain tiny bits of mold, like raisins or cheese. The government says that would guarantee a positive test result even with healthy people, because it's largely measuring what you've ingested, not what you've inhaled.
Hammond says he sold as much as $10,000 worth of lab tests for Biotrek every month.
Did you ever see a negative?
No.
How many tests did you see?
I sold maybe over 500 tests, and I never saw a negative.
Does that concern you?
Yes.
Sherry Higgins was in a group of 7 family members and friends from various cities who all traveled to Atlanta for treatment. According to her complaint to the Georgia Medical Board, all got the same result: positive for mold.
An exact same concentration. So that means none of us were any different, which would seem almost impossible.
Biotrek's attorney would not comment on those results, but did confirm that Biotrek was forced to stop processing testing samples last year after government inspections raised questions about their accuracy. Even though the Gainesville Testing Company and the Alpharetta Mold Clinic share office space and family connections, federal law says they can't refer business to each other. And that brings us back to that November errand, which had Cole Chambers so concerned.
Because my bosses do not want to get in trouble with having all this medical testing that they order from labs and put together at the house, because CLIA is inspecting them and they're going to get in trouble.
According to Chambers, the company was worried when state health inspectors representing a lab certification agency called CLIA showed up, because he says Biotrek was secretly packaging the testing kits in this old building in Gainesville.
They asked me personally to remove all test kits from that house and take them over to a warehouse.
The test kits and the testing and the specimens should have never been in that house.
Everything we use to make these test kits.
All those testing supplies to be sent to sick people around the country, loaded into a pickup truck.
Those are test kits. Yes, they are.
It's all loaded in the bed of his truck, all of your testing kits.
Oh my gosh. Looking at the video that you just showed us, I'm sick. I mean, more sick than I started. I mean, this is not even funny. This is horrific, and I can't believe that he's gotten away with that.
Doing a story about mold, I want to ask you a couple of questions.
But Pugliese didn't like our questions, any of them.
There's 3 sides to every story: his, hers, and the truth. Come back.
Yeah, I'm here to get the truth. And I'm just wondering, are you trying to hide information from CLIA when they came to investigate to see who was going in here?
You know what? Just get out of here.
finally, one more video Cole Chambers recorded. Remember those special Pugliese minerals and nasal spray sold to sick patients around the country? Well, Chambers says this is how he was taught to package them. Without gloves or a mask, sitting in the laundry room of that century-old Gainesville building frequented by Pugliese and his longtime companion, Deborah Mushwart, the CEO of yet another mold testing company, Biotrek Direct.
And I'd get a blow dryer, a pink blow dryer, and I would turn it on and it would heat up the plastic seal, which would close the bottle to where it would seem like it was coming from an actual pharmacist. When really they were being made in a laundry room.
Is that the nasal spray? Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh.
He's actually prepping all of these minerals in the laundry room of this building.
Oh, you're kidding me. They could be completely contaminated with anything.
Pugliese's attorney says if those minerals were packaged in the laundry room, it happened only once. 2 other former employees confirmed it was a routine practice.
Why are you packaging materials in here in a less than sterile condition? Well, you're Deborah, right? No answer. Well, according to the CDC, one of those positive urine mold tests actually forced a building owner to spend $25,000 to tear out an employee's office looking for mold. No significant mold, the CDC, was ever found. So a lot of wasted money being spent here.
It certainly sounds like it. Is Pugliese still in business after all this?
I've heard mixed reports. I've heard the clinic was out of business, Biotrek in business. It's hard for us to determine that right now.
You can only imagine the frustration, though, of the people who were purchasing these minerals and other products.
And then seeing what they're putting up their nose, where it was before it was shipped to them in a laundry room of an old house, not in any sort of sanitary place.
Right.
So are authorities paying any attention to this?
You know, they won't confirm investigations, but it's our understanding the medical board is investigating, and many of these whistleblowers and other people are complaining to them. So perhaps there'll be some more news coming up.
Okay, well,
future.
please keep us posted as you always do, Randy.
Will do.